Hello.
Hello, good morning.
So welcome to one and all who have connected with us on the final day of the Centenary lecture series, which is organized by Zoology. Everything that has a beginning has an ending, but the two most important points in any phenomenon to happen successfully are its launching and landing. Hence, to make the Centenary lecture series a success, its landing is important. And to do this honors today, we have with us Dr. S.P Yadav, who is an Indian Forest Service officer of 1989 batch from UP Carter. We welcome you, sir. Dr. Yadav is presently posted as Additional Director General of Forests, Project Tiger, and Member Secretary of the National Tiger Conservation Authority. He is also holding charge of Member Secretary, Central Zoo Authority in the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change at New Delhi. Dr. Yadav is trained by WII, that is Wildlife Institute of India, and Smithsonian Institution, US, in tiger conservation. He has played an important role in successful tiger conservation in India, Conservation Authority for almost 7 years during its distinction of working as Assistant Secretary General in the Global Tiger Forum, which happens to be the only intergovernmental international organization in the field of tiger conservation in the wild. Dr. Yadav was also conferred with the prestigious Rajiv Gandhi National Award for Wildlife Conservation by the Government of India. With this brief introduction, I invite Dr. S.P Yadav to deliver his lecture on tiger conservation in India, challenges and way forward. Sir, one thing I will tell you, the students are on the YouTube live streaming and the faculty is only on the Google Meet. So don't think that only few people are attending, because all our students are attending your lecture on YouTube live streaming.
So, thank you. Thank you so much, Shelly. Please help me how to load my PPT. Present now?
Sir, yeah, present now. Yeah.
And then
you go to your entire screen and then it will be there.
Yes. And then what?
So it's written your entire screen. So once your PPT is there, you just press the entire screen, the PPT will come and then you will be in the side window.
I open my PPT. Okay.
Yes, sir. You can be.
Sorry for all this.
Not at all a problem. It's fine, sir. Post.
Can you see my presentation?
No. So you can minimize this window and just open it, and then you go to this window and say present, and then it will be there.
So I minimize this.
Just first open your PPT. वो कैसे हो जाएगा?
This is saying share your, and I click share, it's nothing is happening.
लॉग आउट करके लॉग इन करिए सर। हो रहा है सर, तो ये कुछ कहीं हो रहा होगा गड़बड़। एक बार सर लॉग आउट। सर पीपीटी खोलिए पहले, राइट सर? सर हाँ, नाउ इट्स फाइन। प्रेजेंटेशन मोड कर दीजिए, बाकी बिल्कुल सही है। कांट म्यूट, मैं लिख देती हूँ, रुको मैं लिख देती हूँ। इट्स फाइन, हो गया। नहीं अभी भी नहीं।
Shali ji, am I audible?
Yes sir, you are audible sir, बस इसको नीचे से।
So very good morning to all of you, and sorry for this technical glitches. This old generation is very difficult to adopt the first day for being opportunity to speak on tiger conservation in India and way forward. Giving me the there that tiger is our national animal. Tiger is such an iconic. I hear a lot of noises. If all of participants can mute their mic, that will be really grateful. So tiger sees that notify tiger as their national animal. Besides India, they have notified tiger. Forefathers were very wise. They knew that a time will come when all this wildlife protection will be a big challenge in times to come. So associated all wild animals, wildlife, with our religious sentiments. Like if owl is related with goddess Lakshmi, we know Hanumanji, tiger, celebrate Nag Panchami. So our forefathers, they were very wise of keep associating these animals with our gods and goddesses, so that people will save them. And this billion population in our country, we are the largest tiger range country. There is no parallel example. Such a large population is all other wildlife in like in India. So the basic reason cultural heritage is this wildlife is deeply in social ethos. There is natural ecosystem, and when it is in perfect balance, it's giving all its ecosystem services. But what we people are doing, what the present humankind is doing, they are just milking all these environmental resources and converting into money, and that is creating an imbalance in the ecosystem, and that is causing, like you have seen this pandemic which we are going right now, the pandemic of COVID-19 across the globe. And this is the example how badly we are, without applying our mind, we are exploiting our natural resources, and the results are like this. Tree is person, this data across the world has for every person, while in India we have only everys. So with the person, we need a proper tree growth, tree cover in our country to have a perfect equilibrium and balance. Probably you may be aware that the India aims at 30% of the country, and this 33% from where it has arrived. This was when we were formulating our national forest policy. This 33% was the average all developed countries. So that's why we have adopted 33, but we are still on the way up. We are far from our target trying to achieve that. If you see our country is really blessed in the world, I would say, because we have a lot of diversity. We have snow mountains in the Himalayas, like Himalayas. We have long coastal line. We have hot desert in Sahara in Rajasthan. We have cold deserts in our hills. We have areas where highest rainfall takes place, Cherrapunji, Mizoram, and all these areas. We have the driest area in Rajasthan where there is no waterfall for no rains for several years. We have alpine forest, we have subtropical forest, we have tropical forest, we have rainforest in Western Ghat. And so God has given us bounty of nature. And this is the reason we have a lot of diversity in our country. So there is no wonder that we have only 2.4% of total area of the world, but we support more than 8% species biodiversity of the world. Approximately 5% area is under protected area. When we say protected area, means national parks, sanctuaries, conservation reserves, and community reserves. These areas, once notified under the Wildlife Protection Act, they are called protected areas. Other than this, we normally have reserved forests and protected forests. So we have more than 668 protected area. We have 50 tiger reserves, we have 26 elephant reserves. So all this is just amazing for a country like India. But if you see the crisis, we have only 4% sweet water to cater 15% human population of the world, and we have more than 16% cattle population of the world. They all dependent upon this 4% sweet water storage. So that indicates a crisis, and that is how this tiger becomes very important, and that is how the ecosystem, maintaining a proper balance of ecosystem is very, very important in our country. Tigers, why I say that it is important with the relation of sweet water, because more than 350 sweet water streams, they originate in our tiger reserves, or have they have majority of their catchment area in these tiger reserves. And what is the ultimate gain out of it? For having the water security of the country, we need to protect tiger. If you can see this food ecological pyramid, that very clearly indicates that tiger is an apex predator. So tiger is indicator of well-being of the forest ecosystem. If tiger is there, you can rest assured that entire ecosystem is working well, and the outcome final is taking place in the most balanced and natural way. And that is why the monitoring of tigers is important in our country. In fact, the tiger has become so let us see how the tigers are there across the globe. There are 13 tiger-range countries in the world, but there are 8 subspecies, and unfortunately 3 subspecies are already extinct. Caspian tiger, Javan tiger, and Bali tigers are no more in the wild. So you can just imagine how important is tiger conservation, and tiger is a still highly endangered animal. If you see all these 13 tiger range countries, though the tiger numbers in India, Russia, Bhutan, and Nepal, they are little bit increasing, but in all other countries across the globe, they are decreasing. And very recently, the Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos, they have lost all their tigers. You can just imagine in present days, and in fact, there was a Global Tiger Summit in 2010 in St. Petersburg, where I represented India. And after taking pledge of doubling the tiger number at St. Petersburg in 2010, all these 3 countries, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos, lost their all tigers. You can understand that how much and why it is happening, because poaching is the biggest threat. Body parts of tigers are in high demand in countries like China, Vietnam, Laos, and all these things, and that leads to poaching of wild tiger, and this is why the tiger numbers are going down. At present, the world has around 3,900 wild tigers, and we are proud to be the global leader in tiger conservation, and we have more than 70% tiger population of the world. So let us look into let us go back to the history why the situation. It is said that tigers in the country, but if you see this data analysis of tiger distribution change in past 80 to 150 years, which was done in 2004, we have lost 26% area of tiger, and how it has grown from 23 crore 2004 I'm talking right now so this is the reason we have lost the habitat of tiger across the country, low number of tigers.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, the slides are not moving. Sir, वो पहला slide ही खुला हुआ है अभी.
My God, so then
सर एक बार पीपीटी मोड पे करके एक बार वो कर लीजिए क्योंकि चेंज नहीं हुआ है. या अभी हुआ सर. सेकंड स्लाइड सर पीपीटी मोड पे कर दीजिए नीचे से.
Are you getting the slide?
Yeah, now it is slide number 2 is there, cultural reverence and tolerance.
And but now I'm at number 4, 5.
Yeah, I think protected वाला भी हुआ था, आप बता दिए थे.
It's
area
changing or not?
Now it's changing. It's slide number 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
3, 4.
Now can you see where are tigers?
Yeah, where are the tigers?
So let me go in this way. Otherwise, there is some problem, it seems, with my Apple. Is it visible? Where are tigers?
No, it's. Yeah, now we can see the map over here. Where are the tigers? Yeah, status of tigers in range countries.
Right. Go in small. Is it okay?
या सर अगर इसको आप नीचे जो पैनल आ रहा है सर जो थर्ड वाला आइकन है ना जो
वो तो I had already done that but it's not working.
Okay, it's not working. Then it is fine, sir. ठीक है, it's okay.
Now this strategy is visible or not? So let me go back to the same system. So I think it's not in PPT mode, but you can see my slides.
Yes, we can see the slides. They are clear.
Fine. So I was talking about the tiger population over last 80 to 150 years. This data was analyzed in 2004. We have lost 26% tiger area in 180 to 150 years. And why this? While one hand tiger occupancy and tiger population has gone down over these years, but the human population, if you can see, there was a quantum jump from 23 crore to now 130 crore we are. So this was the main reason. There was a pressure on habitat, and this is the reason why this population got depleted. Not only this, before 1969, hunting of tigers was allowed as per the law in India, and hunting was a sport. In fact, if you see the slide, in 1874, rupees 60 bounty was awarded to kill a tiger in Mysore state, which was 12 times before tiger was considered as a pest. Then the princely states, there were a number of Raja Maharajas in our country, and killing tiger, hunting tiger was their best pastime. So Maharaja of Sarguja of Chhattisgarh, in his lifetime he killed 1,707 tigers. Just imagine. Similarly, Maharaja Sindhia, 700 tigers. So because of this sports and hunting of tigers across the country by princely states, and then the British came, they also enjoyed hunting of tigers as a sport, and this is the reason the population decimated. So in 1969, there was an international conference in India on tiger conservation, and the world experts across the globe, they opined that unless we stop this killing of tigers, we will not be able to save. So at that time, first time in 1969, the tiger hunting was banned, and 1972 we came out with the Wildlife Protection Act, and that act is so stringent. Then tiger hunting is banned, and not only tiger, but there are large number of native species. Their hunting, trade, utilization, everything is banned in the Wildlife Protection Act. In fact, there are only 4 animals saved by saving the tiger. So, thus, saving the tiger means saving the ecosystem. That's why the tiger conservation is important. You might be aware that during 2005 we lost all our tigers from Sariska Tiger Reserve, and this was shocking. This was shocking that we never expected that a day will come when we will be losing all our tigers from a tiger reserve, because tiger reserves are supposed to be very well protected. But we lost all our tigers in Sariska due to poaching and due to poor monitoring. After that, a task force was appointed, and the task force submitted its report, and several new initiatives were taken. Wildlife Protection Act was amended, and now any offence related to tiger, the punishment is very, very high. Maximum 7 years imprisonment is there. Up to 50 lakh rupees fine is also there. So National Tiger Conservation Authority, which I am heading, was constituted in 2006. Wildlife Crime Control Bureau in the lines of CBI. This organization has been established, and we started giving money, central assistance to the states, to the different states which are owner of the tiger reserves. We started deploying ex-army people in protection. Our strategy of tiger conservation is holistic, and we have core buffer strategy, core buffer and corridor strategy. Like there is a core critical tiger habitat which has to be meant inviolate, means this habitat there should be no developmental activities. It has to be no no-go zone kind of area where nothing is allowed. It's only meant for breeding purposes of tiger. This is called core area, sanctorum area of the tiger reserve. And there is a peripheral area or insular area that is called buffer. And this is buffer area is managed as a multiple use area, and there are people, there are villages, there's all activities they go on, but this is a buffer area. So a tiger reserve essentially has 2 parts, important parts, core area and the buffer area. And the connecting area between 2 tigers, this slide shows that how this core area is the center of tiger reserve and all this buffer area or insular. To have a viable population of tigers, we must have 20 females, and this 20 females, breeding females, they will be sustaining a population around 100 tigers, and this is said to be viable population. But for this, we must have 800 to 1000 square kilometers of core area and roughly equal amount of the buffer area. Only this condition we can say the tiger population is viable. If you see this slide, this indicates that core area is inviolate, no habitation, no developmental activities, no roads, no mining, nothing. But in the buffer area, all these activities can be allowed, but with the eye or watch on tiger conservation. In the buffer area, only activities which are prohibited is using explosives, establishing a big industries, or mining. So now there are 50 tiger reserves in the country. We cover around 72,000 square kilometers of the areas. You must have heard of Project Tiger. This is one of the most successful project in the world. There is no parallel to it of such a large scale and magnitude of project. It was launched in 1972 as a centrally sponsored program with 9 reserves, and now we have 50 reserves. We do all India tiger estimation commonly called as census, but it is basically, if you call it statistically, it's an estimation. So we do once in a 4 year at all India level basis, and this survey or monitoring, that's very very important to understand what is the status of tiger. So at present, again in India, the status of tiger inside tiger reserves is satisfactory, but outside tiger reserves, still the situation is not satisfactory, and the tiger is still endangered. There are several challenges in tiger conservation. The biggest challenge is poaching, and poaching doesn't take place in our country because there is a demand of body parts, or there is a market in India. But poaching in India takes place because there is demand of tiger body parts, the skin, bones, everything outside our country. As I said, in China, Laos, PDR, Vietnam, Cambodia, these countries, they consume these tiger body parts. They are also used in traditional Chinese medicines. So this leads poaching of tigers in our country. Another biggest challenge is habitat fragmentation, because this disrupts source sink dynamics of tiger population. Habitat fragmentation, why it is taking place? Because of developmental activities. We need roads, we need mines, we need dams, we need transmission lines, and all those activities, when they are implemented in tiger habitat, they create habitat fragmentation. All these activities are ecologically unsustainable, so they adversely impact. But India being a developing country, we need the developmental activities, we need employment, so a proper balance has to be worked out. This cartoon, I have taken it from social media, because you might be hearing often that tiger is entering into human dominated landscape. Sometimes a few years back, the tiger came up to Lucknow also from Pilibhit area. So this cartoon, if you see, media people are asking tiger, why are so frequent visits to city area? The tiger is saying, why not? Just look at this map. This was my ancestors' place. Means tiger is saying that you have converted his habitat into urban areas, urban landscape. So that's why he's coming. So this is the stark reality. If you see this slide, this is the result of tiger monitoring, which we do once in a 4 year at all India basis. And now, earlier the monitoring of tiger was done on the basis of footprints. We call it pug marks. But that method was seriously flawed. It often resulted in underestimation or overestimation of tiger numbers. So during 2006, after the Sariska debacle, we changed the count methodology of tigers. Now it is completely on scientific basis. It is based on tiger stripe patterns, like our fingerprints. The tiger stripe patterns, they never change. And based on tiger stripe patterns, their unique identity, like we have our Aadhaar unique numbers. So we established unique identity, give a number to each tiger, which is by using camera traps. So now camera traps are used, and automatic camera traps are installed in tiger habitat, in tiger reserves. Automatically the camera takes photograph. These photographs are examined and analyzed with the help of software, extract and compare through computer, using computer, and then unique identity of all these tigers are established. It is all estimation is based on sampling basis. Some extrapolation is also done. So based on this methodology, this is peer reviewed and accepted worldwide. 2006, first time we did it, the tiger number was 1411. Then 2010, the tiger number went up to 1706. 2014, it went to 2224, 2224. And 2018 results were released by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, and the number in 2018 was 2967, 2967. In fact, during 2010 Global Tiger Summit at St. Petersburg, all the tiger range countries had committed to double the number by 2022. At that time, our number was 1411, and we were able to achieve this doubling of tiger numbers well in advance in 2018 only. So this is indicative how much importance Government of India gives to tiger conservation in our country. Another this slide this indicates how the tiger numbers have increased from 2006 to 2018. So we are doing good in tiger conservation, and because of our efforts, we are global leaders. If you can see, we have 70% of the world wild tiger population in India. We have 18 of source sites, 43% of source sites in our country, if you compare with the world, and this is all with 1.3 billion population. When I say source population of tiger is called to a area where tiger breeding takes place, where the tiger they multiply and then the tiger disperse. If the factors responsible for potential increment of tiger number, this depends on high prey productivity. Prey means their food, low human disturbance, remote forest habitat, and source population connectivity. So let me explain you this habitat, this slide. This is very interesting. If habitat is good, prey is good, and tiger number is low, we can manipulate. We can do habitat manipulation and increase the tiger numbers. If habitat is good, prey is good, and there is no tiger, we can bring in tiger. We can reintroduce, like we have successfully done in Panna and Sariska and other places also. We can do that with low cost and without much problem. But if habitat is not there, prey is also low, and tiger is not there, the bringing back tiger becomes very, very difficult in such circumstances. We cannot create a Corbett Tiger Reserve or Dudhwa Tiger Reserve or Kana Tiger Reserve. However, whatever money we pump in, we cannot keep it, because these tiger reserves take ages to establish, and they will come to the present state. This all human disturbances, you can see, they adversely impact the tiger conservation. We were talking of habitat connectivity. Let me tell you that tigers cannot survive in islands of protected area. They need connectivity. The connectivity between two tiger reserves or two protected areas or forested area, that is called corridor. So we must protect and conserve, ensure safety of tigers in our corridors. Tigers, they have innate genetic ability. Genetic means it is inherited character. They disperse. Normally 2 to 4 cubs are born with the tiger, and there is 50% neonatal mortality. When the cubs they live with the mother for 2 to 3 years, and they learn hunting techniques, how to hide, all these things, survival instinct in the wild from mother. Once they become adult, they disperse, because tiger is a solitary animal. So they move out from the mother and they try to establish their own territory. Either they fight with the existing male. Tiger is territorial animal. They require 20 square kilometer to 200 square kilometer territory. So they become king of their own territory. So for establishing their territory, they disperse. They move out from their natal area. And this is why the corridor becomes very, very important. But what's happening, if you can see this map, this green line, this is showing the boundary of Corbett Tiger Reserves. This is Kosi River, and this side is Ramnagar Forest Division, and this is the fringe Ramnagar in Uttarakhand, Corbett, Ramnagar Forest Division, and Kosi River. Long back, I was DFO in this area. I was DFO Ramnagar in 93, 94, and at that time there were only 6 resorts in this area. Now, can you imagine how many resorts are there? indiscriminate use of land has been there. Now there are more than 250 resorts. Entire this corridor, this pink line is corridor. This entire corridor is choked, wall to wall construction of resorts. And now when tigers they want to move from Corbett to Ramnagar area, they enter into these resorts and there is a havoc. Everybody, the people, and sometimes there is conflict and human beings are also killed, and people blame tiger. Now you can very well say that who is to be blamed. See this slide. This is from the central landscape of the country. This is Kana Tiger Reserve. This is Bandhavgarh. This is Pench, Madhya Pradesh. This is Pench, Maharashtra. This is Tadoba, Maharashtra. This is Satpura. This is another tiger reserve of Maharashtra. So we have done genetic study after collecting their scats, the DNA analysis, and that has indicated that tigers keep on moving from Kanha to Tadoba, Kanha to Pench, and Satpura, like this. So this indicates, this gives scientific proof that we must maintain our corridor area so that tigers can move, they disperse their genes and survive. This corridor is very, very important because animals, they move in corridor, and if we do not protect these corridors, there is a problem of conflict. See, most appropriate photograph, I thought, that there is signboard of animal corridor courtesy Kaziranga National Park, and the elephants are moving in this. You can very well see how much the value of corridor is. So because time is limited, let me rush to my presentation. The causes of tiger mortality, if the tiger dies naturally, there is no problem. If they die because of old age, no issue. If they die of disease, there is no problem. They die of internecine fights, territorial fights, there is no issue. But the problem is there when the tiger dies due to poaching. In poaching, if you can see, poachers, they use jaw traps. The tiger has soft padding in the foot, leg, and they walk on soft. So the poachers, they know their path, and based on their prior information, they leave just jaw traps, snares, and this is how tiger poaching is done. And now this electrocution in Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, this is also a serious cause of worry. The most vulnerable for poaching is always encumbered tigress, means the tigress with cubs, because they have very limited territory. They cannot move far after leaving their cubs, so they move in limited area, so they become more vulnerable for poaching. So monitoring of tigress with the cubs becomes very, very important. There are several initiatives have been taken by the government of India. Like we have a special tiger protection force, many states have done. The tiger reserves, they create huge amount of employment in protection, patrolling, habitat management, weed removal, maintenance of water holes, maintaining of buildings and all. And 250,000 man-days are created by tiger reserves. To deal with several situation, NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority, has issued standard operating procedures to deal with human wildlife conflict, for disposal of animals, management and all. Every tiger reserve is audit of tiger reserves. We are using radio telemetry, commonly known as radio collars. We put radio collars, but only for scientific research purpose, for understanding the behavior and social dynamics of tiger. We have launched M Stripes. It is a mobile-based app where we allot unique numbers to tigers, like Aadhaar numbers, and we have a repository of more than 12,000 photographs of tigers in an card. We are implementing electronic surveillance, though it is very expensive. So right now, the Corbett, Kaziranga, and Ratapani, in these areas, we are successfully using electronic surveillance is 24 hours monitoring system using thermosensitive camera and infrared cameras. We are using drones. We have special teams for appraisal. We have TigerNet, this web-enabled reporting system for tiger mortality. There are very good instruments. Like tiger conservation is done through a statute. It's a through tiger conservation plan. It's a long-term plan of each tiger reserve is mandated to prepare tiger conservation plan. It is a statutory requirement, means they're bound to prepare it. And these tiger conservation plans are approved by the National Tiger Conservation Authority, and the implementation is monitored. So our tiger conservation in this way is very, very scientific. Every tiger reserve has also this tiger conservation foundation. Again, it is a statutory requirement. Means whenever we visit tiger reserves, we pay certain fee at the gate. This for the tourism purpose, and all this money is collected by this Tiger Conservation Foundation, and this money is recycled for the welfare of people, habitat, tigers, and other wildlife in that tiger reserves. Here is some snapshot of software electronic surveillance. This, if you can see, taken at 1944 hours, so around 8 o'clock, quarter to 8 o'clock. This is all dense forest. In daytime, you cannot see anything, but in the night, by using this thermal sensitive camera, they are fitted at the tower at the height, and they keep on rotating at 360-degree. We can monitor the movement of animals. Similarly, this is also used to detect poachers' movement inside tiger reserves. Like this, you can see. Again, these poachers are going along the nala, and we can monitor them. We lost all our tigers in Panna and Sariska, as I said, and we are the only country in the world which has done successful tiger reintroduction. Panna, 2008 we lost all our tigers. 2009 we introduced tigers, and now Panna is doing very well. More than 70 cubs are born in Panna. Similarly, Sariska, we brought tigers and reintroduced, monitored them, and Sariska is also doing very well. There are large number of people, they reside in the core area of tiger reserves, and as I said, that core area has to be maintained as inviolate, means no human beings, no developmental activities. So for that, we need to relocate, we need to resettle people from the core area to outside area, and roughly 42,000 families are still living in the core area. We are rehabilitating them in a suitable area of their choice. It's a voluntary basis. There are package for that, 10 lakh rupees per family, and every adult is considered as one unit of family. There is one option, golden handshake, you give 10 lakh and then just leave the area. Or if they want complete rehabilitation, houses are built, agricultural fields are prepared and handed over to them. So this poaching is biggest problem in certain. This is a photograph of tribal people from Odisha, the Simlipal tiger reserves. There is a practice of Akhand Shikar. So Akhand Shikar, hundreds of people, they ravage into the forest and kill whatever comes. And this is very detrimental to tiger conservation. To mobilize these people to change their habit, archery competition and this kind of things are being organized by the field officers. Catching them young is very, very important. The sensitization of school-going kids, school students, especially who are living in the fringe area of tiger reserves, is very, very important, because they must become the supporter of tiger conservation. So this is another very important aspect of tiger conservation, of raising awareness among the school-going kids. Ecotourism is another very, very good initiative which is being done by almost all tiger reserves. And ecotourism model, there are different models of ecotourism. This particular ecotourism in Satkoshia Tiger Reserve in Odisha is run by the EDC, means Eco Development Committee, which is formed by the local community. Their capacity is built, they are trained in hospitality, infrastructure is created, and the whole show is managed by them. I have stayed there, and this is a fantastic facility. Today, the biggest challenge before the protected area manager or the forest department is man-wildlife interface, or rather the human-wildlife interface, means conflict between human and wildlife, particularly tiger, because they always, most of the time, they either tiger is harmed, tiger suffers, or the human being, they lose their life or they get injured. And why it is happening? Because of this developmental activities, unplanned developmental activities. When we build road in the habitat of tigers, the conflict will happen. See the tiger on national highway, entire tiger family moving on the road, and if they're fast moving traffic, you can just imagine. The train crushes 3 tiger cubs in Chandrapur. Train line, again fast moving train line, it's another problem. So this conflict, why it comes? Conflict arises where the behavior of one is unacceptably disadvantageous to other. So this is the reason. What are the reasons of conflict? This biology of animal, one old age tigers, their social structure, their learned behavior, their dispersal, adverse climatic conditions, like sometimes there's drought or fire, then the tigers move out and enter into conflict. Anthropogenic or man-made causes, if you see, their habitat loss, agricultural practices like sugarcane cultivation in Pilibhit and Dudhwa area, because the tiger doesn't differentiate between habitat of forest or sugarcane, and he follows spotted deer or wild boars in sugarcane field and enters into conflict with the human being. So all these are the reasons of human wildlife conflict. And there are examples of human killing. If you see 1905, 1911, there was a man-eater of Champavat in Uttarakhand that alone had killed 436 human beings. So large number of human deaths do take place, and we have issued a standard operating procedure to deal with such situation. And there are rapid response teams in sensitive areas. They deal with this situation, but a lot of awareness is required, and capacity of forest department, field staff, frontline staff is required to deal with such situation. So again, this slide is showing that core area and buffer area and why this corridor area is important. If corridor is protected, then tiger movement or dispersal becomes easy, and that is safe. But if the core area is disturbed, like by this canal construction, canal has been constructed in contiguous habitat, and what is the result? In the fast flowing water of canal, this tiger got entangled, and somehow we were able to save this. So this is the situation. So the problem in conflict is, you can see some of the photographs. When the tiger gets injured, there is some debility, some deformity, then only it kills, like he identifies human and kills them. Otherwise, human beings are not identified as their prey, so they don't attack or don't harm. But under stress condition, especially when the tigress is with the cubs, for their own safety, they attack human beings. Again, some examples of the biggest problem comes when the tiger enters into human-dominated landscape and there is a conflicting situation. Hundreds and thousands of people just surround. They just want to have a look, and that makes our job, the job of forest department, the job of rapid response teams, very difficult to catch that tiger. So here, just again a caricature, a cartoon. Tiger is surrounded by shouting, noise, making large number of people. Forest department staff is ready, and tiger is saying, "Hey, can you please tranquilize the crowd first?" Because this controlling the crowd becomes huge problem. Noise becomes huge problem, and everybody is shouting, and this is really difficult to handle this situation. So you might think that what we are doing, like to stop train hit, so we have the government of India has issued guidelines for eco-friendly mitigation measures. As you can see in the photograph, the overpasses, the underpasses, they are constructed to provide safe passage to tigers. and corridors. Here, the National Highway Authority of India has issued guidelines that for planning a road, one must avoid national parks and sanctuaries in protected areas so that the wildlife is not disturbed. A successful example of this underpass, if you see this is the example from NH44 in Kanha Page corridor. This was recently constructed, and tigers are using this space. This is example from Singapore. This shows that the safe passage, how to provide safe passage to wild animals. Uh, to prevent, there are several measures which we are adopting for prevention and control of this human wildlife conflict, like hotspots are identified, rapid response teams are deployed, there are several approaches, site specific. Fencing is also done, like Sundarban Tiger Reserve. If you see, the nylon fencing is done, which is a psychological barrier to tiger, and this movement dispersal or straying of tiger is contained because of nylon fencing. Timely payment of compensation. State government to state government, there are different packages for human loss, cattle loss, crop depredation. So compensation is paid. Sometimes tigers are caught and they are taken into rescue center or rehabilitation center. If they're found fit, they are transferred back into the wild with a radio collar and with 24 hours monitoring. Otherwise, they are kept in rescue center. So all these strategies are in place to deal with conflicting situation. We are then the future is like, can we increase our tiger number in a country? I think we are almost to the carrying capacity of tigers. We cannot hold more than 3,000 to 3,000, say maximum 4,000 tigers. But still there are scope. There are low density tigers in many tiger reserves. Names have been given in different states. And still we can reintroduce tiger, build up their prey base, and we can increase number of tigers in these areas. Another problem, invasive and alien species, this IS. These invasive and alien species like Lantana, Mycania, there are a number of such species which have invaded the grasslands in this tiger habitat. And when they invade, the area loses this palatable grasses, and that adversely impacts the herbivore population and in turn the tiger population. So by managing this invasive and alien species, weeds, we can enhance the quality of habitat and increase the number of prey and tigers. There are several potential areas which can be notified as tiger reserve. Like one is Ranipur in Uttar Pradesh, Suhagi Barwa, Suhelwa in Uttar Pradesh, and there are many such areas we have identified in other states. They may be notified as a tiger reserve, and then we will provide funding support so that we can increase the tiger numbers. Creation of inviolate space is, again I said, very, very important. 42,000 families are still living in the core area of tiger reserves. If we relocate, if we resettle them in outside tiger reserve areas, so large area will be vacated, and that can be developed into grasslands, and that can support a good number of herbivores and in turn tiger population. So how do we keep a tab on management of this tiger reserves? We do independent management effectiveness evaluation of all these tiger reserves in a cycle of 4 years. Independent team is constituted. They visit tiger reserves. There are more than 30 criteria and indicators of management effectiveness evaluation, and they go into the field and do this assessment. Their results are analyzed, and then we monitor and look into each tiger reserve, that how to improve, what are the strength, opportunities, weakness, and threats in these areas. And this is, again, we are the only country in the world which is successfully implementing management effectiveness evaluation in our tiger reserves. We are also conducting security audit, because this is, again, as I said, poaching is the biggest threat to tiger conservation. Security audit points out the gaps, deficiencies, what needs to be done. So we are conducting security audit of our tiger reserves. Now, technology. There is problem in recruitment in most of the states. The aging of staff is a problem. Capacity building of staff is a problem. So all this we can somehow we can minimize or the all adverse impacts of all these things by using technology. So number of technologies we are using for animal tracking, intrusion detection, monitoring, limiting the movements of animal. We are experimenting with virtual fencing, sensors to detect animal poacher movement, electronic surveillance, robots, drones, night vision, and all these things we are experimenting, and we are very confident that though we cannot substitute foot patrol by all this technology, but use of technology is definitely a great support to our tiger conservation. As you are aware, India shares tiger landscapes with Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar. So we have trans-border bilateral relations with all these countries. We review because tigers they don't know the boundary. They move from Nepal to India, India to Nepal, India to Bangladesh, and like this. So we have a trans-border protocol. We bilaterally we meet these countries on annual or biannual basis and sort out our problems. We do joint monitoring and patrolling. Tourism is again very important thing, but tourism is not the main concern of tiger conservation. Tourism is a byproduct of tiger conservation. If tiger is there, then only tourism takes place. So we have very strict guidelines of tiger tourism. Only maximum 20% of the core area is allowed for tourism purpose. Every tiger reserve has a tourism zone identified, and every tourism zone has its carrying capacity. So number of tourists, number of visits, number of gypsies are restricted based on scientific calculation and carrying capacity. We have another provision of rehabilitation of hunting tribes. There are certain tribes in our country like Spardis, the Bahelias, the Mongias. Their profession, their livelihood is hunting. So we are trying to rehabilitate them to wean away from their traditional way of living, so that they join the mainstream of development and do away from the poaching. A large number of poor people they reside inside tiger reserve or in the fringe areas. So the benefit of tiger conservation must go to these people. For this, we have EDCs, eco development committees. We provide livelihood options to these people, and they should get priority in all. If you see, approximately we spend around 300 crore from the central government. We give money to the state governments for implementing this Project Tiger scheme in their tiger reserves. And besides this is our share. But besides this, all state governments they also chip in roughly around 40% as a matching share to this amount. So a lot of money is being spent on this. Human wildlife should be considered as a natural disaster, and the UP government has taken a lead in this aspect. They have declared human wildlife as a natural disaster, so it becomes responsibility of district administration, police also, and immediate ex gratia payment is possible because of this. We are also contemplating to establish national center for human wildlife interface, because this is going to be the very challenging field of conservation in our country in the times to come. And I have also proposed we need to establish a wildlife rapid action force, like commando force, to deal with human tiger conflict. Like they are lifted from the center, they are dropped using chopper, they do the operation, catch the animal, tranquilize the animal, and hand it over to the forest department and come back. So this kind of center, this is also we are thinking. We are also thinking of national referral center, because wildlife disease is again a very very important. The number of diseases like canine distemper virus, KFMD, foot and mouth disease, anthrax, and all this kind of disease, they occur in the wild in wild animals. And right now there is no specialized hospital or care facilities. So we are planning to have a national referral center in the lines of AIMS. We will have a center for wildlife where research, diagnostics, treatment, education, all things will go. This becomes again very very important because of this zoonosis. As you know, the corona most commonly assumed theory is they have originated from bats and then spread to human beings. And this is not the first case. There are a number of such diseases like Ebola, H1N1, SARS virus. All these they originated from wild thing. So we must study, conduct research on this, and be prepared for future challenges in this. Just I have one last slide, and this is, don't be shocked. This is not a natural photograph. This is morphed photograph. But it conveys a very strong message. That's why I have put in this slide here. And the message is very clear. If you kill wildlife, you cannot save your trees. You cannot save your forest. If you kill your forest, if you destroy your forest, you cannot save your wildlife. And if you destroy both your wildlife and the forest, you cannot have an ecosystem. You cannot have your ecological balance. So therefore, for maintaining an ecological balance, protection of wildlife and forests, their habitat is very, very important. And with this, I'll conclude my presentation. And again, I'm sorry for technical glitches initially, but I hope that you enjoy my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful talk. And as you conveyed the message so beautifully, and the last slide really, it is so meaningful, encompassing so many things. I liked your talk very much, and I have many questions with me, which need to be answered by you, right?
Okay.
So should I start with the questions the students have given?
Yes, please.
So there is a question from one of our students, Prakriti Yadav. She has asked how to estimate carrying capacity of tigers from prey density.
In my presentation, I've shown that it's not only the prey density, but there are a number of other factors also. The carrying capacity is decided. There's Hayward's formula, and for that, you visit our website. There's Hayward's formula that's based on ungulate density or herbivore density. There is a set procedure. There's nothing new in this. Based on the per square kilometer availability of prey bears, number of tigers, carrying capacity of tigers is designed, because one tiger needs approximately 450 to 500 spotted deer units for its survival in a year. So based on this formula, the carrying capacity of tigers in a particular tiger reserve area is decided. If you look for Hayward's formula of carrying capacity, you Google it, you'll get all the details. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, another question from Mohanish Singh. He's a MSc student. While conserving tiger population, does small population pose a challenge of inbreeding? And if yes, then how do we monitor and overcome it?
In the wild inbreeding, I would say that the survival of the fittest, the Darwin's theory. So all weak genes, they are purged out naturally. The weaklings, they die because they cannot survive. Survival in the wild is very, very hard. In fact, tiger is such a powerful animal, but tiger cannot guarantee 100% success in all its hunting attempts. So the weak genes are purged out. Inbreeding takes place only when the population is confined to a very, very small area. And in our experience, we have not seen anywhere the inbreeding of smaller animals, or it's not a issue in wild.
Another student, Aman Shukla, wants to know Could you please tell how canine distemper virus affects tiger, as it seems that many Indian tigers are affected by it?
Let me tell you, not many Indian tigers are affected. In fact, canine distemper virus was a serious disease identified in Russia, where a large population was affected by this. But India, there are hardly few cases, and that too because canine distemper viruses, that they are spread through cats, dogs, and other canines. So when they come into the contact with the wild, they affect our tigers. And the canine distemper virus, as you know, like we also have the virus of common cold, influenza, everything. When our resistance goes down, then only we get affected. Similarly, tigers are also carriers of CDV virus, CDV, and when they are stressed, their resistance goes down, then only they are affected. There are hardly very few, I think 3 or 4 so far, of canine distemper virus in our country. And for that immunization of dogs in the fringe area that is taken place. That we, whenever we identify any canine distemper virus case, Isaac Nagar Bareilly IVRI that does the diagnostics, and based on that, there are certain protocols how to prevent the spread of canine distemper virus that is put in place, and that is how we control it. But it's not a serious issue in our country.
Sir, another student, Anuriti, wants to know that if she has a master's degree in zoology, what else she requires to apply to work in a tiger reserve?
The best thing would be compete UPSC, become an IFS officer like me.
Right.
Otherwise, do some course in the Wildlife Institute of India on wildlife biology, this monitoring, wildlife management, and then you can work as a biologist in a tiger reserve, or you can work through Wildlife Institute of India. Like as I said, every 4 years, hundreds of such young biologists are deployed in the process of All India Tiger Estimation. So, and number of NGOs also, they are working in this field like WWF, WTI, WCS. There are number of NGOs which are working in the field of wildlife conservation and management, and you have job opportunities there also. But if an ambitious, best thing would be compete UPSC, become IFS officer.
Yes. So one more question. Human-tiger conflict has always been a big threat to tigers. What can we do to reduce this conflict?
In fact, it requires almost another 1 hour lecture. That because, as I said, this is one of the most challenging thing and the most difficult thing to deal with. Human-tiger conflict. Tiger is a carnivore with immense power, doesn't fear anything. And once it enters into human-dominated landscape, there is always a lose-lose situation. It's not a win-win situation. So we have issued a standard operating procedure how to deal with human-tiger conflict. Please visit our website ntca.gov.in and find out SOP, standard operating procedure to deal with it. But this is really a challenge, very difficult task, because controlling unruly mob, the people, the crowd, that becomes the most difficult part of controlling or managing human-tiger conflict.
Sir, another question from Manjari Srivastava. She's asking, can you please tell me about the new hybrids, the tigers and lions, the commonly known as the tigons and the ligers? So are these hybrids more fertile than normal?
In fact, the Government of India policy, we do not support. We do not allow hybridization of these animals in our country. These experiments have done abroad in captivity, not in wild. And that is really not advisable. So we do not support this. And there is no comparison of strength, and that the question does not arise.
Does not arise, yeah. And last but not the least, does tiger farms increase tiger population?
No. The tiger farms are there in China and USA, Cambodia, and Laos. The international community opposes this. The CITES, if you have heard the Convention on International Trade of Animals, CITES. So all countries, they have issued resolution against tiger farming, because tiger farming is allowed only to the extent to sustain and support wild tiger conservation. But that's not happening. Tiger farming is leading to more consumption of tiger body parts, more demand in the market, and that is leading poaching in our country. So we are the sufferer. Like I'll give an example, very example. Desi murgi and broiler chicken, right? So most of the people, they will prefer desi chicken, right? Country chicken, and they will prefer, the cost will be more. So similarly, farm tiger in tiger farms and wild tiger. The Chinese, the traditional medicine practitioners, these people, they prefer wild. So on the garb of tiger farms, they are in fact increasing, means they're supporting the consumption of tiger body parts, and they're leading poaching in our country. So the international community is against tiger farms, and we do not support this as a policy, as the Government of India policy. We do not allow this.
Right. Thank you, sir. It was really a very nice talk. And we have wildlife in our curriculum also, so students keep on learning, and this Project Tiger is one of the most important things. And I remember my time when I was doing my MSc, I made a project on Project Tiger. I made a big chart, and then I showed why the numbers are decreasing, and then showed some poaching data and all. So the memories are fresh when you talked about at length. And now I request our head of the department, Professor Sudhir Kumar, to convey vote of thanks to you. Thank you, sir. Sir.
Thanks, Dr. Yadav, for sparing your time. It was really nice to have the complete picture of the project and the project forms and challenges. One small request from my side, as you are associated with new authority, you rightly said that except for animals, killing or poaching of the animals is banned. So we have good museum there in the department. Now we are appreciate of the animals that is used in the museum for educational purposes. So as you are associated with Central Zoo Authority, so if there is any way that you can get the taxidermic animals or the dead animals in our zoo. I know in Bahrain, Dr. S.P Yadav was there for there was the killing of one there. At that time. So if such things happen, so can you inform our department about the way how we can get the dead animals or the killed animals to keep our.
So, Dr. Sudhir, I could not hear you. There was a lot of echo. So, can you repeat?
My submission is this, that we have museum in the department.
Museum in the department. Okay.
Yeah, where we keep the animals, wild animals or the animals from the other side. So now we are losing that, like that cheetah, Professor G.N. Verma ji is here. Now we are losing the animals because of the aging or this. Or we want to replace that wild animals in the taxidermy position. So do we have any procedure that can get these animals of these dead animals in the departmental museum?
Sudhirji, in fact, live, please visit this website of CZA. Like, you can have museums. And can you hear me?
I can hear.
Right. Museum can be, constituted. Only thing is, you need specimens to keep in museum. India has banned, in fact, all these things, taxidermy, and but many people, they have inherited property, the princely estates. I know many of them. specimens, and probably we can move around and take or request these guys to donate such things with the help of forest officers and all, and we definitely can create a museum. Like there are natural history museums established by the government of India in different parts of the country. One is in Delhi, one is in Bhopal. Lucknow probably doesn't have it, but we can explore the possibilities. Their prey base is different. Like here, our tigers eat sambar, wild boar, and all. Their prey base is entirely limited to spotted deers, boars, only these two animals. Though, so they also eat crabs.
They eat fish as well, I think.
Crabs, because habitat is unique, they consume salt water, and their behavior is little ferocious. And otherwise,
is the saline water habitat leads to their becoming man-eater as well?
No, man-eater by
But
nature.
Are all of us?
No,
I mean,
no, not at all, not at all. There are 80 to 90 tigers in Sundarban Tiger Reserve of our country, and only the fringed tigers there is some problem. So tigers, they don't become man-eater because I said the tigers don't identify human being as their prey. But if there is certain deformity, there is canine is broken, their paw is damaged, then only they attack cattle and then human being. So tigers are not man-eaters. Less.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor.
So it is a formal thanksgiving to you, sir,
Okay.
Dr. Yadav, and this those who had planned this talk, and the students and faculty of this department, and the last but not the least, I wish to thank the coordinator of this lecture series, Dr. Sally Malik and Dr. Gitanjali Mishra. I one more addition, and I know that you visit Lucknow, so whenever you visit, the question remains. There are so many questions. I will invite you over a cup of tea, and then thank you.
Right. Sure. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you.
शत शत नमन हमारा रमन हमारा इस ज्ञान स्रोत को। भाव बुद्धि मन होते विकसित जहाँ हमारे, पूरी सभ्यता संस्कृति के हो